What is up, homies? So it's been a while since my last video. I really haven't had much to update in my weekly bossing progression, mostly due to the fact that I've been busy, so I've just gone in and just do my bosses really. Um, so there's a few main updates. First one is during this past 1+1. I Star Force the second Adele to do bosses up until CPAP. And what that means is that I no longer have to sell hard Hillic crystals, which is huge, meaning I'm making a little bit more meso compared to before. It brings my current weekly income to 17.5 bill mesos, bossing on 15 different characters. And then small updates are that I've done some minor gear improvements to my buck and my shadower, where they both do up to Damien now. So that's pretty much it. And we'll just dive on into these characters so that you guys can see what exactly has changed. So for my Buccaneer's actually just finished its gear recently because I finally hit 4 set superior after collecting enough coins. So it's literally taken me almost all summer plus an additional month or two to slowly collect the coins just because I haven't been completely consistent with Golux. So now with 4 set Golux, I can clear up to Damien fairly comfortably. In terms of the rest of the gear, the potentials are roughly the same since the last update. I still need to take the time to tier up my items, but even without tearing it up, it is fairly comfortable clears. In terms of nodes, nodes have been exactly the same, so I haven't done any upgrades to nodes. Levels have been exactly the same. The main thing is just finishing Gold's gear. So now I'd say that my Buccaneer is a completed character. So I am no longer going to be making any updates on my buck, um, just because now it's just min-maxing to make my Lomian times faster. But doing all these bosses on my buck up to Lomian take roughly half an hour with the gear you just saw. Next is my Shadower. So my Shadower's been lacking levels for a bit. And the main reason I push for levels is just to have the level advantage for the additional final damage in Lotus and Damien. I've finally taken the time to finish leveling up my Shadower. So you can see the gear here. So right now I do up to Damien in roughly half an hour. This character's gear is basically done as well. All I have left is to min-max my potentials and try to just make Lomian a bit faster. In terms of stat, I forgot that key. It's about 12.5k stat, still running 215% ID familiars. So this is fairly comfortable at the moment. Not much to say besides that. I did put a little bit of extra notes into here just so I could get my boost notes to level 40. I'd say it poured in like maybe an extra 100 notes or so, just so I could get that. In terms of updates for some of the other characters, my Dark Knight, Demon Slayer, Shade, Ice Lightning, and Marksman, I think have fairly the same gear since last update, but I'm just going to speed run through it. There's not really much an update for them, but this is just a quick run through of what their gear currently looks like and what bosses they clear up to. So for my Demon Slayer, oops, not Demon Slayer, for my Dark Knight does up to Lotus at the moment. I do want to do Damien, but I do want to finish leveling to 220 first. I already have 4 sets superior on here. Everything's just missing some stars. I'm still running 2 ID fams on here. In terms of what's left for Dark Knight, we still have no boom room, so my goal is before no boom room is gone to spend some of my Meso to at least get all the 12-star items to 15, and similarly for any of my other characters which still have 12-star items. Next is Trusty Demon Slayer. My Demon Slayer is actually one of the higher level bossing mules I have, and I actually don't do up to Lomian on here yet because I haven't been comfortable bossing on it yet at the moment. I did invest a lot more nodes on here than most characters. So I think I poured like 500 or 600 nodes into here. But I think once I get a little more used to Demon Slayer bossing, Lotus should be probably a 5-minute run or so, and Damien should be sub 15. I just need to get used to really min-maxing my burst every 2 and 4 minutes. Most of the gear is still 12-star, some 17s, a lot of Meso gear because I do farm on here. I'm still waiting on 4 set superior. Until then, I'm just running with what I got. Nothing too crazy. Normally, I would go for my 9 set boss accessory, but because I have item drop on these close earrings, I'm just running that for now. Once I swap to 4 set superior, I'll probably have an easier time with Lomian, but I just need to fix up some of my potentials on here really, because I'm just missing a bunch of stat, which is free damage here across the board. Currently 14k stat. And instead of running 2 IED familiars on here, what I run instead are 15% and 2% attack, 15% ID, 2% attack, and I just called it a day. I didn't think I really needed the extra ID on Demon Slayer, just because I have extra ID already from Demon Impact. For my off burst, I might reconsider getting a second ID fam later, but at the moment it still clears up to Catchy fairly comfortably in about 25 minutes or so. Next up is Shade. I'll come back to the second Adele later since that's the newest bossing mule. So the Shade currently is 9.4k stat. I run up to a Catchy on here. I do need to push levels. I think I probably can do Lotus and Damien, but that's going to be once I hit 220. What I'm running on here, these are my nodes at the moment. I kind of want to pour more nodes to hit level 40 on these, but I'm still farming up nodes on my main. In terms of the gear, it's still pretty consistent. 12 stars, some 2-line uniques. This is actually running my normal 9 set boss accessory, 17 CRAs, then my crit damage gloves, legendary WSC. Well, I didn't tier this up, but I thought because it was a 3-line unique, it was good enough. Technically like a 2-line, sort of like a 40% boss, 15% ID. And this clears up to Catchy in about 30 minutes, which is pretty comfortable in my opinion. The Catchy is a bit rough, but it's not as crazy as like a 12 or more minute run like I've done in my bossing mules earlier on during Destiny. All right. So my Ice Lightning is 7.6k stat. This is only a 3-door bossing mule at the moment. I have not tiered up my weapon yet. I think once I tier up my weapon, I can do up to C-Val HMAG fairly comfortably. I'm missing stars on here across the board, so this is going to be one of the characters that will be going into No Boom Room. And once I finish going through No Boom Room, it should be a fairly comfortable clear. And then getting levels on here as well. I think this is one of the characters I spent more nodes on average. I think I spent around 300 or 400 nodes, and I haven't invested anything else since then. I think the nodes are at a comfortable level. It's really just fixing up my gear and then getting additional levels for FD for Akechi, Lotus, and Damien. There's still room to grow on Ice Lightning in terms of bosses I have left to do on it. Next is Marksman. So for my Marksman bossing mill, I've gotten fairly comfortable with my Marksman in general now, just because I've gotten some tips from Erica Ray from Shra. I would say that I still need to get this last ring slot, but I haven't been running enough Golux. It's still running 9 set boss accessory, basic John treasure ring, 2 event rings. Everything else is mostly 12-star with some 16s. And with this character, I do up to um, HMAG fairly comfortably in about 20 minutes or so. I did get I did update my IA recently. There's an IA event I think about 3 weeks ago, and I think once I start doing dailies more, do some more Golux, and then no boom room, should speedrun some bosses some more in the long term. And then that's pretty much it for Marksman. So last but not least, I did make a second Adele. So the second Adele currently is 9.2k stat. It actually has a fair amount of 16s. It can do up to Akechi, but Akechi is unfortunately a very long run just because Akechi's level 210. Me being level 206, I take 40% FD reduction, so I lose a lot of damage facing Akechi. So I think after I hit 210, it will actually be worth to fight him, but until then, it's a bit too painful and too time consuming. So I have all my ring slots filled, mostly 12 stars, and then anything that can go above 15 is already 16 stars. I did all of this during 1+1 event. Took about 10 build to just get all of this done. And once I start pushing levels on it, it will, I think I might actually be able to do Lotus and Damien once I hit 210 on here. Just because I just have to tier up some stuff, and I think my Adele would be fairly easy to go on, especially since it's not going to be me learning a new character, it's just me running my main, but weaker. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this week. Next update will be probably end of the month, to be honest, because I'll be waiting until I finish No Boom Room. I don't really plan to push anything else in terms of progression on my characters until I have enough Mesos to finish star forcing their gear to 15 stars across the board. Besides that, I'm hopefully gonna have enough time to maybe push levels, but with the recent announcement with the removal of totems, it may take slightly longer to level all my characters to 220 or higher. We'll see how that goes. But, until then, catch you in the next update. See you, homies.